Lokoz boxing. Canelo Alvarez versus Avni Yildirim is set to take place on February 27th, 2021 in Miami, Florida. A couple of things to take away from this fight, a couple of key points. We'll start with the fact that this should be a fairly easy fight for Canelo. It's really not expected to be a very difficult fight. Right away, I'm saying there's going to be a knockout involved. And it ain't Canelo, obviously, that's going to be knocked out. We can expect a knockout around maybe beginning to middle of the fight. I'm leaning a little bit more towards the middle of the fight. So this is not meant to be a difficult fight for Canelo. It's not meant to be a major challenge. It's really just a mandatory challenge that is being taken on. There is a couple of things going on behind this mandatory challenge. It's actually a win-win situation for everyone if you think about it. First of all, he has to complete this fight. He has to comply with this fight since this is a mandatory challenge for him. With that being said, it's a walk in the park for him. It's easy money. He shows up, he knocks him out, wins, he looks good, he adds a KO to his stats, and at the same time, we get an extra fight to see. I know it's not the fight that everybody's asking for, but if the fight's there, it's there. Supposedly, he's going to try to be very active this year after what happened last year, where he was not able to fight throughout the whole year until the end of the year. So how does this work? Well, another reason why this benefits Canelo is that taking on this mandatory challenge, besides an easy paycheck, besides adding to his statistics another victory and another KO win, because as I said previously, it is very expected for this man to be knocked out. Yildirim, I just don't think he stands a chance against Canelo in any way, shape, or form. But another benefit to this is branding. We all know that Canelo is now representing himself in a way. He now has Canelo Promotions. And it's going to be very important for his name to be out there as much as possible, just as any type of branding strategy or tactics would involve. He had even said in the beginning of the year or before the year started, if I remember correctly, that he was going to try to fight maybe 4 to 5 times this year. That alone tells you that he's trying to brand his promotions. He's trying to put his name out there as if it wasn't out there already. But to be fair, when he did become inactive due to the legal problems he was facing, his name did start slipping away from boxing. Whether you're a fan or not, whether you like him or not, this is a boxing strategy. This is how you make money nowadays. Boxing isn't the same as it used to be. Before, it appeared to be more about the greatness, the honor. A lot of things could be said along those lines. Now, business is business. Then comes all that good stuff. Whether you agree with that or not, that's how the world is working. That's how the world works. Fighters are getting smarter and they're putting their promoters to the side. Why have someone represent you when you can represent yourself? Who would represent you better than yourself, right? Well, with that being said, so it's better for him to put his name out there, branding. It's better for him because it's an easy paycheck. And he gets to add a couple of points to his statistics. He gets to look good while he's doing it. Another benefit he has going on from with this fight is it's just like a little warm-up fight, a tune-up. Even the very best out there will take tune-up fights. They'll prepare for a good fight or a fight they may consider challenging. After that, they'll take on a tune-up fight to get a little break, make an easy paycheck, add to their statistics. Then they schedule a good fight again. So hopefully after this, we get a good fight. And I'm thinking that possibly after this, he fights in May as he used to try to fight every May. And he may even end up fighting Triple G or Billy Joe Saunders. But that is yet to see. I think either of those two fights would be a very, very entertaining, very good. With that being said, those are the key points to take away from this fight. It's not really meant to be a challenging fight. As I reiterate, it is what it is. It's a quick fight for him. And in Yildirim's eyes, it may be a chance to redeem himself. I mean, Yildirim hasn't fought since 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And not only does he not have the experience that Alvarez has, not only does he not have his record, but he's been on a leave or on a layoff from boxing since 2019. I mean, that already goes against you, and much more if you're coming off of a loss, which he is. He's coming off of a loss since his last fight. I know there's a lot of politics involved on why he is the mandatory challenger. It is what it is. According to what we understand, Canelo is trying to unify the 168 division, and if that means him taking on this mandatory challenger to do so, then so be it. We may get to see him fight others. There's a lot of good talent in that division, and if he has to take on this little fight, he won't have the excuse to not take on the bigger fights later on in that division. Some of those fights we all want to see. He just fought arguably the second best in that division, Callum Smith, and he made that look very easy. So now it's time for a tune-up fight, and we'll see what comes next after this tune-up fight. With that being said, for me, there's been a boxing shortage when the pandemic started, and it's about time we get boxing going. It's been going really good, but from towards the end of 2020 till right now, the beginning of 2021, we already have a roster that's just set up for us to watch, and more boxing, the better. That's it for today. If you like what you heard, give it a like, subscribe. If you don't, then dislike it, subscribe if that's even a thing, and let me know what y'all think. Lokoz Boxing.